Hi Paul, hi Donny, hi AS, hi Fothingill, hi Paul. Yes, it's starting now, AS. So before I start, welcome, and few things. I do this every Sunday, unless I say otherwise. And I also have a Wednesday night chat group as well. And what else? I have a new book out called Nothing Happening. And I also do one-to-one Skypes. So you can get in touch with me about that if you're interested in really going for it towards nothing. What else? Oh yes, and I'm very grateful for any donations that people give. And if you could donate a couple of pounds or something towards this talk, I would be very grateful. Hi Anne, hi Joe, hi Keel. Hi Edison. Hi Sheila from San Diego. Welcome. So all there is sitting here. All there is speaking. And it's moving beyond speed, beyond time. It's not really moving. It's not moving in time. It's just appearing. But these are words that can't really point to the immediacy of what is. Really, it is a great mystery. But it's also it's also what is apparently happening. Okay, I'll answer questions in a moment. Thanks. Can't be described. Can't be known, touched, felt, because these are all concepts of the appearance of a separate self. The separate self looks for something else. It looks for enlightenment, freedom, as concepts that have been learnt and believed. It believes there's something else besides this, and it even looks in this for something within it, for me, that I can get. But how can you pin down just sitting speaking? When we were 3 years old, we weren't looking for enlightenment, were we? It was just so immediate. And it seems that over time we have conceptualized the idea of freedom, the idea of getting, becoming, growing, being a person. The person always takes a position within the appearance, in its dream. In its dream. There's a dream of a person going on. And within that dream is all the individual stories that it has collected for itself in its dream of me and my life, me and my position within my life, me, my position in comparison to others. It believes there are others because it believes it is itself. It believes there are other me's in other bodies. That other people are people, individual people. So it finds position within that. And it even finds position within this message. It tries to find its position within it. Am I closer? Am I further away? Am I seeing nothing? Am I seeing emptiness? Am I seeing this? It's always doing that because its base mechanism is seeking. It's a seeking machine, looking for freedom. And in this non-duality message, it's looking for that message where nothing is actually being said here. Nothing's being said. There's just speaking happening. It's going nowhere, saying nothing, giving nothing, being nothing. There's nothing here that is something. There is only the mystery of this apparent life, which seems to go on until it doesn't. It overlooks the absolute obvious by seeking for it. But it can't help it because that's the dream it lives in. It lives in the dream of the next moment, the dream of when it will happen to me. If you get every idea of enlightenment and seeking and getting and completely turn it upside down, you'll be slightly conceptually closer. But nothing gets closer. You can't get closer to sitting on a chair. And even though the mind can see that, well, yeah, I can see that, then it'll say, but I don't get it. I don't get sitting on a chair. Well, there's nothing to get. You can't get what it is to be sitting on a chair or whatever you're doing. I want to get closer to sitting on a chair. These are concepts. Concepts which are totally imbued. The total contraction of self, squashed. It fuels itself for seeking, wanting more, wanting something, wanting the end of myself. It's another form of seeking. It's another story. The end of me is a story because there is really no me. There's just the apparent sense of it, which is absolutely believed. And it's hard to describe what it's like without that, because it's not like anything. It's absolutely ordinary. Too ordinary for the me, the dream of me. Okay, let's have a look. ISS. Also in pursuing God, remaining religion, all is unreal. Yes, because even the pursuit is unreal. Pursuing. There's nothing really pursuing, is there? There's just the dream of pursuit. It's just something going on in the dream world. I am pursuing, but nothing's actually. It's all in the head. And then always lives in fear to survive, but it doesn't exist anyway. No, it doesn't exist anyway as a reality. It doesn't exist as a reality. It's an appearance. And it fears its own demise because it believes itself to be life. It says, I am the life in this body. But it's not, is it? The life in the body is, well, I don't know what. Mysterious. Something at the top, actually. Non-duality, you are aware. You are aware as reality. Well, that's another idea, isn't it? Awareness. You have to kind of think of awareness. You have to go into that conceptually. You also have to go into reality conceptually. What is reality? Reality is an idea. This is beyond ideas. Ideas just happen in the dream of me. They're no different. Those dreams of reality, those ideas of reality, are no different from the ideas of starting a new painting. Hi, Claudia. Sheila. Aliveness is in the body. It is energy. Yes, well, you could say that about everything, though. Everything is the one apparent energy. Everything is the one energy. But the me says, I am the life that is running this show. I am running the show. Without me, the body would die. That's usually the concept. It says, life is beautiful when it is just lived as it comes without feeling like I need to control. Somehow the body just gets lived. Yes, like everything. Everything just arises, appears, disappears. It's so impossible to get a hold of. Can't get a hold of it. Seems like something moves it. It's weird but beautiful. It is. It's so weird and so beautiful. And the same thing as moving the body is the same thing as moving the clouds or anything. It's all the one energy. Just so gorgeous. Hey. Even the separate self is that aliveness. And even pointing to the dream of it is that aliveness. It's all totally beyond comprehension. Yes. I wish I was self-realized. You won't know it because no one becomes self-realized. No one becomes self. It's a real bummer for the me. The me doesn't get anything. It's the end of it. It's not personal. The beauty and the wonder is not personal. Nobody gets anything from it. It's not like, oh yeah, I've got it now. All that's left is absolute free fall. Absolute free fall. I mean, there's nothing to touch, nothing to hold on to. And that is beautiful. But it's not for anybody. There's nothing more. There's nothing in this appearance. that is more than anything else. This is everything you've ever looked for, but you'll never find it. Because it already is. You can't find what already is, because it already is. Finding is just something that goes on in the dream. I want this free fall to happen. Seems really hard. It won't happen. It's not happening to anybody. It's already happening, yes. It's already what it is, which is an untouchable, apparent reality. So nobody sees that. And you don't get to it. It's not that it's hard to get to, because no one gets to it. It's just that possibility that the penny will drop. And when it's recognized, it's so obvious. So obvious. Sheila, describe free fall. You use those words. Trying to describe the indescribable, which is everything. Free fall, how I mean it, is or free flow. You could say free flow. But I like fall better because there's no end to what is appearing. It's not happening in time. It's not happening in time. Time is a human construct that helps the human get through the day or the week. Hi, Mark. What is the value of this recognition, acceptance? Is it the freedom of attachment? Is the freedom of anybody being attached? Is the freedom of the burden of the person? To me, that is of great value. But in this apparent reality, nothing is of value. And nothing is of no value either. It's all totally equal. But within the appearance, the recognition of this is it's the end of the burden of the seeker. But really none of that matters in the end. Because it goes one way or the other. Yes, is there something you can do to get free fall? Free fall to happen? There was a path that Lisa followed. No, there wasn't. There wasn't a path that Lisa followed. Hi, Tangerine. There's something you can do to get free fall. Nobody gets free fall. I'm talking about the opposite. Get every single concept you have about getting something and totally turn it on its head. Mark, and the burden is the person. The person is a burden. The seeker is a burden. But I'm not saying this to get rid of the person. It's an irony, isn't it? Gale, if you're aware of the sentence, you're already everything that exists. If you're aware of this sentence, you see, to be aware of the sentence, one would have to go to the idea of somebody being aware. Somebody being aware is just a concept that becomes an apparent reality for the sense of person. Ah, okay. You're already everything. Well, from here, there isn't anybody who is everything. There is only everything. And that isn't anything that is permanent as an appearance or a state or anything, actually. For the person, there is nothing here. There's just nothing here for the person. Because the person lives in its dream. It's a dream of a person happening in the human. It's nothing more than that. And how can I say that? Because there used to be a dream of a person living in this body, and there no longer is. Thank God. But in a way, it doesn't really matter. You know, it really, everything is already free. Even the sense of person is already free. Doesn't matter really. The person thinks it's looking out of the eyes, but it's not. It just thinks it's looking out of the eyes. There's nothing looking out of the eyes. There's just a story rattling around in the brain, or wherever, if I'm looking out of the eyes. Yes, do you recommend self-inquiry? No. That's a hamster wheel. It's the self inquiring about the self. What am I? What am I? You can do that forever. What am I? What am I? But you know, whatever floats your boat. I don't not recommend it either. It's just something that's you know, I might as well recommend baking cupcakes. Well, put my gut. I'm just gonna make this a bit bigger. There we go. Where are we? But my gut replies to the letting go of the person. It's the letting go of the ultimate attachment, being you. Well, that would just be another story. Letting go of me. Letting go of the ultimate attachment, being you. Well, it's just a story. Letting go of the person is a story. It's another me story. I mean, where is that? Where is this letting go? Where is this person? It all exists in an illusory dream. And we have to use concepts to send messages. Yes. Yes, this brain has concepts all the time, usually to do with art. But I'm pointing to the art concepts. Hi, Ella. For the sense of self, there's no reason for me to be here at all. It's never going to get it. It's never going to arrive in some story it has of arrival. But it's not the sense of me that hears the message. It's a recognition of the message, a recognition of the actual obviousness of the message. And in that obviousness, there is nothing left. It's just to be obvious. But that isn't anything that can be pinned down. Hi, Joe. Yes. If I understand this, how come it still doesn't happen? What makes the self fall away? Nothing does. Nothing makes it fall away. Because the self itself, the appearance of self, is actually no difference from the appearance of a plant. The disappearance of self is no different from the disappearance of plant. Because all practice and all seeking and all ways it lives within the story of the me. The idea of it falling away lives within the story of self. I only Con. I'm just flesh and bone working perfectly now. I'm protein-filled brain producing thoughts. Hi Lisa, good to see you again. Hi. Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's good. Well, I often think of asking a question, but as I'm typing, it becomes obvious that the question is totally futile. Yeah. And sometimes the mind can conceptualize the answer. There is no answer. There's no answer for the person. There's no answer to anything. This is life beyond answers. This is life beyond the person, even the human. Human, as Rincon said, protein film brain producing thoughts. I concur. There's no answers. Because all questions are related to concepts of getting. All questions are about when am I going to? How can I? And I itself is not who you are. You're a protein-filled brain having thoughts. Sheila, so recognition just happens. Yes. Yes. Joe, don't jump to conclusions. Well, the me can't have any. The me lives in apparent conclusions, answers, getting, wanting, trying, seeking, hoping, waiting. All that. And all of that is just the dream of the me. It's the little world of the me. Mostly up in the head. But it's so imbued into the system that it feels like a contracted energy. And when the recognition comes, even if it's just for a split second, that contracted energy just it says, who's looking through the eyes? Nobody. There might be a thought, I'm looking through the eyes, which is a strongly held belief, part of the me story. There's nobody looking out of the eyes. Who's looking out of your eyes? Yes. So thoughts aren't me. They just happen out of what I am, which is space consciousness. All I am is another idea. I am. Can you find I am? Can you find I am? Except for as a story. The contracted sense of self is definitely a contraction, but it also has all these thoughts and beliefs and concepts about itself. And one of them is I am. I am. Thoughts just happen. Sheila, what is the reason you sit there with words coming out of your mouth? no idea. I have no idea about anything, Sheila. No idea about anything. This is just what apparently happens. There's also love as well. There's also a love. There's a wonder. There's a kind of a celebration that goes on in Lisa when it does. There's no state here of that, but it can happen. It's like, oh, there's a love. There's a beauty. There's an amazement, and that amazement is always new. It's always fresh. It's not old. It's not like some regurgitated concept about God knows what, nothing. Ella, this is the I am. Ella, whatever this is. Yeah, it can appear as a contracted sense of I am. Of course, I mean, it's everything. It's everything. It's whatever thought that happens. It's whatever feeling that happens. Whatever concept. Whatever anything. Income. Listen to Lisa with ears. Feel your eardrums. And just like that, your breath goes slow to find yourself in this dimension, which is so fresh. Well, one wouldn't find themselves in this dimension. There is only this dimension, but I hear what you say. I can feel what you're saying. Sheila, love that. Love freshness. Celebrations. Get that. Yeah, it just always comes fresh. My God, I could talk for hours. It's just, I mean, what the hell? What an amazing, what the hell? This is what the hell? I got no idea what any of this is. But there's nothing no longer seeking to get that. It's the end of getting that. And all that's left is just, wow. What a mystery. It says, love is whatever happens, which is life, complete as it is. Yes. Yes. You could say that this is love, but not human love. Human love is always nice. It's always nice love. Which is, that's the human, that's how the human is, and the human is utter perfection as it is. But when it's being horrible. Ella, you look a bit different, as if you fell in love or something, lol. Yeah, or maybe it's just my hangover. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I guess there's always there's no end to anything. I think the me thinks there's an end to something when it's no longer there, but there's no end to anything. There's no end. There's no death. There's no beginning. It's just what the hell, and that can become a deeper what the hell, apparently. Hope you had a nice birthday, Ella. Listen, how do you deal with suffering, knowing that you or your loved ones could be brutally tortured with no reason or explanation? Well, I don't really live in those stories. Well, when there's suffering, there's just suffering. Suffering happens for sure. So there's laughter. So there's tiredness. Isn't there something we can use this message to help with the pain of life? No. No. The human is subject to circumstance. What can I say? The human body will die. The human is subject to having their loved ones hurt. It's just whatever's happening. And it's there for as long as it's there, and then it's gone. It's like, it's not really anything. It just is what it is. Isn't there something we can use this message to help the pain of life? No. I just read that, didn't I? Sorry. It says, what do you think about the concept of God? I don't. It's just a concept. I would have to go into concepts. I don't have a concept of God. That's just gone. I remember when they were seeking though, you know, like, God, kill me now, please. Suffering is the greatest teacher, says Joe. As a story. And apparently. Had an apparent birthday, Ella. I think pain happens to no one. Yeah, that's right. Death happens to no one either. Death, the apparent death of me, doesn't happen to anybody. All the me's want to die so that they can be reborn as a greater me. But it's not like that at all. It's like the death of a strongly held, conceptual, contracted belief reality thing. That's all it is. It says, my family is very religious and make me want to pray to God, but I feel and I know that there is no God. Not in the religious way. Not in a religious way, because religion puts God as an outside, omnipresent force that's watching over us and judging us for being bad or praising us for being good. These are all stories. Sheila, isn't God just another word for aliveness or energy? Yes, it is, but I don't really like to say the word because it just has too many goddamn connotations. Amen to that. Yeah. Hallelujah, Keel. It says, it makes me angry when I see them desperately praying, but I don't know. They just have to do what they have to do. They are life praying to nothing. They are nothing praying to nothing. It doesn't really matter. Mark, how can you say, Lisa, Lisa, be sure that this concept that we are kindly sharing, that you're kindly sharing with us, is not a trap that your ego has constructed? Because it would be a story of something. And I'm not sharing a concept. I'm not sharing anything. How can I share the concept of just sitting in a chair, speaking. It's not really a concept, is it? It's the absolute obvious. That your ego has constructed. Well, if it has, it would be really abstract. It'd be like the ego's on drugs or something. I don't really care, but who talks from my mouth, no one knows. Talking just happens. Everything just happens. It would make difference whether it's a trap or not, I think. Trap. I can't remember what that's relationship to. Ego trap. Yes and no. Seeking is a trap. I'm not giving anybody anything to do because there isn't anybody to do anything. There isn't anybody who can do anything. There's just the apparent arising of me, which actually has no power at all. It just believes it does. It says, yeah, sometimes I find it funny too when they're praying. Yeah, they're just doing what they're doing. To who, lol? Nobody's praying, actually. It's just humans praying with a strong sense of belief in something that's going to save them. Yes, so this is just what happens, but for no one, yes. So the only thing that changes is the idea of self. The only thing that changes is the absolute death of self. Yeah, ego, to me, ego and self are the same thing. Me, I, ego, self, awareness, consciousness, all that is the same sense of separation, separateness. Ego, powerful thing. Yeah, well, the sense of self is a powerful thing. It seems powerful, but it's really not, because it's still aliveness. How is seeking a trap? Because it gives the sense of me hope of finding something. It puts a kind of, well, when there's seeking, the seeker always goes towards an idea, the big goal, the big golden goal in the sky of enlightenment. So when that is promised to somebody, when you can be like me, the guru on the stage with my beads and robes, when you can be as enlightened as I am with all my followers, look how holy I am, then I'm going to teach you how to do that. When there's no holy person sitting on the stage at all, there's a human sitting on the stage who has nothing. He has nothing more than a snail in my garden. The promise of enlightenment, when you follow my path and my teaching, I think that is a trap. Think on. Knowing nothing gonna happen, I still joined the gym, swimming, started to develop a different kind of ego, which is conscious about every step I take in life, which I have no control over. Yeah, well, that kind of story just runs on, isn't it? It's always running on control. Yeah, and it's always presiding over everything. Am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? Is this right? Is this wrong? Do they like me? Do I like them? Da 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 da, on and on it goes all the time. Relentless. It says everything is nothing, lol. Yeah, well, we say those words, you know, everything and nothing, nothing and everything. In the end, there isn't anything that can be said. Yeah, but nobody sets that trap, and I don't see trap. Yeah, you know, I sit here and talk about this, but I also sit here and talk about other things like seeking as a trap, because it is. Because it is. I'm not going to get into non-dual concepts about that. Only if one believes is a seeker can then be a trap. Yeah, but that one does believe it's a seeker. And then to tell that apparent seeker that there is this enlightenment you can go towards with all my teachings, which you have to pay me hundreds of pounds for, blah, 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 that is a trap. It's a trap for that apparent seeker of the sun. You can sense that it's futile. Yeah, yeah. The seeker that believes it's not is not a seeker. The seeker that believes it's not a seeker is still a seeker. Yes, yes, yes. Well, the sense of self has lots of little nuances. It's very clever. It's very clever. It'll slip in any other way, any way it can. Ella, yeah, but the seeker is just a play like everything else. Yeah, and this is just a play like everything else, saying it's a trap. I know what you're saying, but I'm going to say it. People who tell you to go towards enlightenment with all these tricks and things is gonna end up on a roller coaster. Farthingale. You're here being this for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Yeah, well, I'm not here. There's no here. There's no here. It's just life in absolute freefall. Absolute freefall. Nobody's here. You're not here. Looking for oneness. Nothing wrong with seeking. No, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with anything. In reality, there's nothing wrong with war. But there's also nothing wrong with saying war hurts. There's nothing wrong with saying seeking can be a very long treadmill to nowhere, because it is life appearing as a treadmill to nowhere. But paradoxically, the seeker will go on and on and on with it. Anything you believe in is an illusion. Yes, Ella. I think the seeker is bloody innocent. Yes and no, not necessarily. If I was to sit here and tell you that something about getting to this, it wouldn't be true. If I was to tell you that, yes, you can get to this through seeking, it would not be true, because it's already here. You can't get to it. It's all a play in the mind of getting to it. I will not advocate, I will not say that seeking will get the person, the apparent person, to this, because there is no person and there is no this in reality. Not really. Everything is innocent, Ella, everything. But I will not advocate it, because it's not true. And I'm not going to get all non-dual about that, because that's bullshit. It says, at the end, it's all perfect because that is what is appearing, or in all its chaos. Yes, yes, lovely. Absolute chaos. It's wild. This is wild. It can appear as anything. It can appear as a protein-filled brain with thoughts saying, no, I will not advocate seeking. Nothing wrong with seeking, of course. Nothing wrong with anything. But I'm not going to agree to it. Mark, so what is the purpose of this experience that we are all having? It sounds pretty pointless. Pointless for the me, but there's no pointless and there is no not pointless. It's alive. It's alive without purpose. It doesn't need purpose. It's sufficient. It's complete as it is. This absolute completeness of aliveness appearing does not need purpose. Purpose is hope. Purpose is the dream of a better tomorrow. This doesn't need a better tomorrow. It doesn't have a tomorrow. It's absolutely complete. Purpose is pointless. In this message. Bring on. Lisa, did you ever heard Osho ever in your early stages of seeking? No. No. I didn't. It says it's all pointless for no reason. Yeah. Isn't that amazing? Yes. It's pointless and not pointless. It's neither. It's neither. It's beyond this. It's beyond the ideas of purpose, meaning. Those are purpose and meanings are like lesser mortals in comparison to the absolute boundlessness of this life. It's boundless. And we're looking to pin it down to narrow little ideas of purpose and meaning. Yes, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes purpose appears, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, but that's just in the boundlessness of it all, isn't it? Hello, but that is just how life appears there. Yes. Yes. What is true, Lisa? Nothing. Nothing's true. And seeking is exhausting, like a cat chasing its tail. Yes. Yes, it is. Looking for oneness. Why did the apparent Lisa seek in the old days when the seeker was already apparent? That was the dream of Lisa. She thought she was a separate person who wanted to become free and enlightened because she was unhappy with herself when there was no self. It was all a delusion, a dream, a deluded dream that I was here and happy with myself. Neither of those things were true. None of it was true. And the whole dream just fell apart. And exhausting for the me. Well, that would be the story for the me. Not exhausting for the me, it's exhausting for the system. When that seeking and the me goes, it's very relaxing for the system because that pent up, contracted me is no longer there, trying to hold everything together, trying to hold its whole dream of its life together in its own story. Paul, no purpose is impossible for mind to get around. Yeah, same. Joe, stop complaining. I don't think anyone's complaining, Joe. Lincoln, I don't think non-dual knowledge ever take away the enthusiasm of living, and if it does, then your understanding is lacking somewhere. Somewhere, just be kind. Yeah, there's no non-duality can become a concept. It's like, okay, non-duality, that means people have different ideas. Some people think it's some sort of attached above it allness. I'm above it all, nothing's going to touch me. I'm above being touched. Non-dual knowledge. No knowledge. No knowledge. Unknowing. Ungetting. Hi, Synchronizador. Hi, Lisa. The knowing element is always present. Is it a product of what is the sense of self, which is the knowing element, or the wanting to know element, is part of the boundlessness, yes. It's just a color in the painting of life. It's just a sound in the symphony of life. That's all. Sheila, can you see the difference in your appearance without the constricted me? Don't think so. The face might be more relaxed, maybe. I don't know. There's definitely more. The system is way more relaxed. That's all I can say about it, really. Joe, it's all a myth. Everything is a myth. It's all a myth. Looking for oneness. Thank you, guys. Enjoyed chat. I'm off to meditating and seeing that there is no I, no one doing. I have to do it. Thank you for the convo. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Enjoy your meditation. Lincoln. Osho made all his followers mad by confusing. I think this modern way of delivering truth is the way to go. Yeah, I mean, I think people have different opinions about Osho. I don't really know him, but I have met people who've had some very bad experiences there, and they've had to do a lot of recovery. Then I've heard good experiences from other people. I just don't know. I don't know. I have no experience of him, so I can't really have an opinion. He mixed the message with advice. Yeah, and he made some of the people get into some pretty crazy stuff, which I don't think was healthy for everybody. Maybe healthy for some, but not for others. I've heard some pretty disturbing stories coming out of there. But, you know, some people love him, some people don't. Okay, any last things before I go? Pretty enjoyed tonight. I love the interaction. There's been some really great comments and questions. It did go quick, didn't it? Well, I'm doing oh yeah, I forgot to say, I'm doing a webinar on the 26th of May. It's first come, first served. There are 7 places left. And it's for the whole afternoon. We have a tea break, but really it's for the the whole afternoon. If you want to join that, you just have to get in touch with me via email, which is on my website, and there is a link below the video. Yeah, it did seem quick tonight, didn't it? Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining me. See some of you on Wednesday, and I'll be here same time next week. Lots of love. Bye.